Tonight on Newswatch, a nonprofit is taking on a project to build homes for those in need in our region.
Plus, the state is expanding its mental health services. What new resources are available for kids in crisis?
And the global economy could take a hit because of national tariffs. The International Monetary Fund sends a stark warning to the U.S. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening. We're having some beautiful weather in Athens today.
Absolutely. I'm Reese Thompson.
Yeah, welcome to Newswatch, and beautiful weather today, and
Yeah, the weather's been absolutely wonderful, and it's been a little cloudy, so we've been seeing that happy medium. I'm going to toss it over to Newswatch forecaster Isabel Isco. Isabel, is this going to keep continuing throughout the rest of the week?
Kind of. Fortunately and unfortunately, it is going to be getting warmer here in Southeast Ohio. Today it was that happy medium, like Reese said. A little bit cloudy out there. It was a little bit on the chillier side with that cloud cover, and it was a little bit windier today. But this is just going to be clearing up and giving us some beautiful days ahead and very much warmer. The past 24 hours, we saw those temperatures in those low 70s yesterday, and then overnight we made it to those mid 40s. Then today, our high in Athens, right at 70 degrees currently out there. It is 69 in Athens, 69 in Lancaster. We had a little bit higher north, 71 in Columbus currently right now. We are seeing currently, we have a little bit of wind, 5 miles per hour, and those skies are just clearing up for the night. We are expecting a little bit more cloud cover going into tonight with that overnight low of 48. Partly cloudy skies, but that won't be bringing in any kind of precipitation. If anything, it's going to be bringing in some warmer air. Our 3-day outlook, we're seeing temperatures in those 80s over these next couple of days, mostly sunny skies. Thursday and Friday, we are expecting those rain showers to come once again. We're kind of ending out this week with a little bit of some summer weather. I'll be talking about that in my full forecast and just about how much rain we're going to be getting. But let's take it back over to Reese.
Thank you, Isabel. A mild earthquake shakes parts of Noble County today. The earthquake was measured at a 3.1 magnitude and took place a little after 4 a.m. The epicenter is just over a mile southeast of Pleasant City in Guernsey County. The quake was also felt in Muskingum and Lincoln County as well. Despite the fact that this is a relatively weak earthquake, it is the largest reported earthquake in the U.S. today. Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio and the Athens County Land Bank are teaming up to build 9 homes over the next 2 years. The homes will be constructed in Nelsonville, the Plains, and other areas in the county, several on land provided by the land bank. 160 woods work volunteers will help frame the first 3 houses in less than a week. After this initial push, local community members, volunteers will step in to complete the builds. In addition, Habitat will join forces with the Survivor Advocacy Outreach Program to construct 4 additional homes, one of which is already under construction.
An Athens staple returned to the city this year, Rathacon. Businesses, convention goers, and Athens residents gathered to enjoy the festivities. It was a day of community and charity. Reporter Charlie Ehlenfeld has more. Rathacon has become a must for cosplayers, artists, and people across the Ohio Valley. For one organization, it is the ideal location to help people across the region. Creative cosplay of the Mid-Ohio Valley started with a group of friends wanting to be in a parade.
I had everybody who wanted to walk in my float give me $10, and I bought canned goods. And we found out that won first place in food donations, and it offended us tremendously. We were like, what do you mean? We're first place with 75. How many bands, how many lawyers, how many bail bondsmen? We decided that we could do better than that.
From there, it was off to the races for the group. Now in their 5th official year, they're raising money for charity by selling posters, candy, plushies, and more. Last year, the group raised $6,000 for food banks and community centers across the Mid-Ohio Valley.
We took care of ourselves, and we decided that we were going to do what we could to make a difference.
Smith and Creative Cosplay have relied on a tight-knit community around events like Rathacon. The community helps support small businesses, charities, and artists.
We travel between Morgantown and Huntington and out to Columbus. And in all of those events, we'll see people in Huntington, and they'll be the same people in Morgantown, and they'll be the same people out in Columbus.
There's just a huge community base around it, too. So it just feels really nice. It's way better than, the corporate big businesses.
When people come to conventions to be their heroes, Smith says it has a unique effect.
It's fueled by love, right? Love and care.
When people are dressed up as heroes, they like to do something that makes them feel good. We're not just dressing up as people who are saving the world. We're expressing positive figures that can inspire other people.
That feeling creates an unforgettable environment on the convention floor. For Smith in Creative Cosplay, the year is just getting started. They're closing out their first quarter, and they have plans to donate the proceeds from the convention to community centers in the Williamstown area.
You might want to take a look in your medicine cabinet for any unused prescription medication. The Athens County Sheriff's Office is collecting medication you don't need anymore. Sheriff deputies are teaming with Ohio University's Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine Anesthesia Club for National Drug Take-Back Day. Deputies and volunteers will accept unused expired prescription medication. Proper disposal of unused drugs protects the environment and prevents accidental poisoning, overdose, and abuse. The team will be at the Athens Walmart from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. this Saturday. Ohio is expanding its mental health services. Starting July, all counties across the state will have a mobile response and stabilization services program. For young people in crisis, calling 988, a team of trained professionals will respond within an hour to de-escalate the situation. In addition to immediate services, MRSS also provides over a month of intensive in-home services and peer support. Governor DeWine says no one will receive a bill because Medicaid and state funds will pay for the services to help kids in crisis.
Illegal dumping isn't just an eyesore, it's a health hazard and a public betrayal, Attorney General Dave Yost says. He's rolling out a $1 million grant to fight the issue. Yost says this money comes from the Environmental Enforcement Team to support more than 25 local governments statewide. They will clean up existing illegal dump sites containing solid waste and or demolition debris to prevent further dumping.
Our program was designed to take some of the money we get from prosecuting these cases and bring it back to the local communities so they can clean this stuff up.
In Southeast Ohio, the Hocking County Health Department will receive part of the $1 million to clean up a dump site in Logan. The health department will also use the money to sort and recycle materials such as e-waste, tires, construction debris, and launching public outreach for community engagement. Today, Earth Day, the Environmental Protection Agency fired and reassigned staff who work at the Office of Environmental Justice and External Civil Rights. Employees with the Office of Inclusive Excellence were also impacted. Overall, around 280 staff members were fired as a part of the reduction. 175 other employees were reassigned to other offices. The EPA says the cuts were in line with President Donald Trump's executive order targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion. This follows last week's announcement that the agency canceled more than 400 grants. Last month, the EPA also put more than 160 environmental justice employees on paid leave.
Economists warn the tariffs President Trump is implementing could do more harm than good. Washington correspondent Karen Kaifa has more on what economists are saying.
The International Monetary Fund said that the uncertainty around President Donald Trump's tariffs and the levies U.S. trade partners used to hit back will likely deal a blow to the global economy and especially slash U.S. economic growth. The forecast in line with what economists and Wall Street have warned.
This is, I think, being perceived by economists and investors around the world as the biggest own goal in soccer terms, the biggest self-inflicted sort of blunder in economic policy making in many, many, many years.
Wall Street has been eager for signs of progress on any trade deals, but especially with China. The White House said Tuesday things are moving.
There have now been 18 proposals in more than 100 countries around the world who are wanting to make a deal with the United States of America. And the president and the administration are setting the stage for a deal with China.
Adding to market anxiety, President Trump's recently ramped up pressure on Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and the independent central bank to cut interest rates.
The Fed is supposed to be insulated from short-term political considerations so that it is free to do what's best for the economy in the medium and long term. That includes keeping inflation stable and low. It also means keeping unemployment low as well.
Meanwhile, gold briefly hit a fresh record high on Tuesday. Investors typically flock to gold as a safe haven in uncertain economic times as the U.S. dollar grows weaker. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Lower interest rates are a key part of President Trump's economic agenda, but Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says borrowing costs won't go down right now. The Fed operates independently from the White House, but that hasn't stopped Trump from threatening to fire Powell. Powell says rates will not be lowered right now because inflation is still above the 2% target and the U.S. economy still faces uncertainty.
As the world continues to mourn the death of Pope Francis, the Vatican is continuing with their traditions to honor him. Yvonne Rodriguez reflects on the life and legacy of the Pope.
This morning, cardinals conducted the rite of confirmation of death and disposition over Pope Francis, one of many final traditions in the coming days that will carry the Pope to his requested final resting place at Santa Maria Maggiore Basilica Saturday. Some mourners remembering him today for his progressive approach to the papacy.
He did a lot of things to try and adjust the church to modern time.
He's somebody that I felt was kind of trying to hold the entire world together.
This theology professor in New York met with the Pope personally last October. She says he encouraged her and all who worked in God's name to, quote, make a mess if necessary to spread the gospel.
Listen to the cry of the poor and the cry of the earth. And that was what he meant by go make a mess, make people pay attention, make people get out into the streets, make people care.
Pope Francis will be remembered for his passionate defense of the planet, the plight of migrants, and achieving peace through diplomacy.
He sort of set the groundwork for a broader, more accepting and loving and welcoming church. I'm hoping that that's part of his legacy.
The Pope's final words were released by Vatican officials this morning. They were said to his personal nurse, who helped the Pope make a surprise appearance on Easter Sunday, shortly before his death. Thank you for bringing me back to the square, he said. In Vatican City, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has ordered all state flags to be flown at half-mast to honor Pope Francis. This comes after President Trump ordered all U.S. flags to be lowered. The flags will stay lowered until April 26th, the day of the Pope's funeral. Coming up, the Supreme Court begins their hearing on what could be a landmark case.
And a pharmacy giant has agreed to pay a huge settlement following an opioid lawsuit.
We're seeing some summer-like temperatures coming up next on Newswatch.
Entire towns were completely submerged. 1,000 miles of coastline was impacted.
In collaboration with the Howard Center for Investigative Journalism.
Do you think they really grasp the dire straits that are facing Alaska Native villages?
The impact of climate change on Alaska's native villages.
It is discouraging to think about our way of life, our life way changing.
We have to wake up before it becomes too late.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
You think you're on one trajectory in your life, and it makes a left-hand turn.
We need each other, because this is tough.
Funk's primary purpose is to get people moving.
It can literally reach and touch you in places that may surprise you.
Michael has a big love for the world.
There's a part of him that is a showman.
I had no idea what I was doing, except that I was having fun, taking pictures.
I didn't know what a caregiver was. I didn't know what Alzheimer's was.
Everything has changed.
I know it'll be different, but I'm really hoping that we can feel connected.
When you're in the library, everyone's equal. We're a place where people come together. We need more of that in this country, not less of it.
It's been a difficult road.
We always come back.
All over the world, hatred and Holocaust denial are on the rise. And as we reach a moment when the last survivors are passing on, It's now up to us historians to make sure that the full enormity of what happened will always be remembered.
Auschwitz did not fall from the sky. It comes step by step. Evil comes step by step.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Looking across southeast Ohio, our temperatures are still in those high 60s, almost 70s, and as we head more north, Athens 69, Lancaster 69, Zanesville still at that 70 mark. We're going to be cooling down tonight at that overnight low of 48. Some clouds starting to make their way in once again. We had those cloudier skies earlier. It was a little bit windy, but tomorrow we are expecting quite the opposite. We're having this warm front moving its way in, and we're going to be seeing this high pressure combined with that. We're going to have a crystal clear and very warm day for your Wednesday. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, that temperature high of 80 with that temperature low of 55. Tomorrow, it's not going to be windy. There's not going to be very much cloud cover, so it is going to be a warm one. It will be on that drier side there from that high pressure system, so you're going to be having that dry heat, but you're definitely going to be wanting to wear that sunscreen, making sure you're taking off all those layers. It's going to be a warm one. See 12 hours ahead, that high pressure system moving its way through, that warm front kind of hitting us right in the morning. So pretty much all day tomorrow, it will be on that warmer side. 24 hours ahead, that high pressure system kind of sitting right over Ohio, giving us those crystal clear skies before we get hit with a little bit of that rain that is going to be forming off in the Midwest for these next couple days. For our Thursday morning, we are going to be still in the clear, but that chance of rain will be increasing as we hit Thursday afternoon. Right now it is looking like later in Thursday. We do have that slight chance of rain, and then once we hit Friday, this system that is brewing off to the Midwest is going to be starting to make its way in, giving us a chance for some thunderstorms for our Thursday night. Going into our Friday, we're seeing on our 7-day outlook Thursday night that 30% chance of showers. Then as we head into our weekend, our temperatures cooling down just a little bit once that rain kind of makes its way out. But it is going to be a warm one. We're seeing on our 7-day outlook, not a day under 60 degrees on there. Tomorrow, like I said, 80 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Definitely going to need that sunscreen. Thursday, Friday, that chance of showers isn't until later in the day, so you will be able to enjoy that 82 degrees for our high. Friday starting to cool down just a little bit, 78 for that high. Saturday, Sunday, that chance of showers starting to move its way out by Saturday afternoon. Sunday, partly sunny skies once again. And then Monday, Tuesday, right now we do have that slight chance of some showers, and our low temperatures starting to hit those higher marks this time next week. 62 for our temperature low. That is very high for this time of year. We are at that kind of midpoint where we're starting to get from spring to summer, and it is feeling it like it out there with those showers starting to move their way through, and our temperatures finally being at those 70s and 80s once again. It is feeling a little bit more like summer than spring here in Athens. Let's take it back over to Reese.
Thank you, Isabel. The U.S. Supreme Court is hearing arguments about whether schools may read LGBTQ+ books to elementary school students without giving parents the ability to opt their kids out on religious grounds. A group of mostly Muslim and Ethiopian Orthodox parents sued Montgomery County, Maryland schools over the policy. The lawsuit does not seek to ban the books, just the policy of denying parents the opportunity to opt their children out of the reading. Experts say this is the most significant religious-related appeal the High Court has confronted in years.
Walgreens has agreed to pay the government $300 million to settle an opioid lawsuit with the Justice Department. This comes after Walgreens allegedly filed millions of invalid prescriptions for controlled substances. The company then sought payment for many of those invalid prescriptions, though through federal health care programs. If Walgreens is sold, merged, or transferred before the fiscal year 2032, the pharmacy would owe the United States government an additional $50 million. Next up, we can all make a difference for our health and for the health of our planet. How you can take care of yourself and the planet this Earth Day.
on Masterpiece.
Jane Austen was my sister.
He was saddled with me forever.
Perhaps there is a biography to be written. Everything one needs to know is found within the pages of her novels.
Did she ever know love?
There's sure to be letters that will cast up all manner of treasure. Why ever would you think that?
Miss Austen on Masterpiece.
Shall we begin?
It's what we've been waiting for.
Quite wonderful news.
I couldn't agree with you more.
She may not think she needs care, but she does. And it's our job to persuade her.
The king would not elevate you if he meant to destroy you.
Never say what the king will not do.
This trial is not about a necklace. It's a referendum on our reign.
Sunday on WOUB. For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
Taking care of your body is important, and taking care of the planet is just as important. Mandy Gaither has more on how you can take care of both at the same time.
It's the only home we have, but caring for Earth and your health are two things you can do at once.
I think it's a win-win situation.
Dr. Sophia Asphalt with Cleveland Clinic says small changes can make a big difference for your body and mind and your planet. First, get outside and enjoy it by biking, walking, or running more. You can get to where you're going without relying on a vehicle, which reduces emissions into the air.
And these improve our physical health by improving weight management. It could also improve our cardiovascular health. It may even lower cholesterol levels.
Asphalt says to also consider changes to your diet. Buying local, fresh fruits and veggies can help you eat healthy and reduce food transportation emissions. She says to also think about moving towards a more plant-based diet to reduce your carbon footprint and give you healthy alternatives.
While not everyone wants to have a solely plant-based food diet, it may be an important part of a healthy, balanced diet.
Finally, Asphalt says focus on green hobbies like gardening or even planting trees. These activities can promote physical and mental health by getting you moving outside in nature, and you may even grow your own healthy food.
No thing is too small, and collectively we can all make a difference for our health and for the health of our planet.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Hurts your heart, hurts your soul. To just think that someone could do something like that.
It's life.
Next time on the Vietnam War.
A lot of mud, blood, and artillery.
Casualties mount as U.S. Marines dig in at Con Thien.
We were being called the Alamo. You know, hey, we knew what the Alamo was.
And the Battle of Dak To takes a staggering toll.
Nhìn thấy mặt nhau này, để rất gần, chúng tôi hô, nổ súng.
When the Vietnam War continues.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
Understanding the past gives a sense of the future.
This is the first time that anyone has seen this in 2,000 years.
This is amazing.
Well, I'm excited now.
Pompeii is a battle against time.
You think I'm joking, but look at this. It did really happen.
Don't let anybody tell you who you are.
History teaches us to honor the past.
When you look back, you're like, wow, that was pretty special.
This is something that's actually altering the course of history.
You're charged with keeping these stories alive.
For intelligent, insightful reporting.
Were you surprised that they were using Signal to talk about really sensitive stuff?
There have been screw-ups in Washington since time immemorial, but I can't think of one quite like this.
Join moderator Jeffrey Goldberg and the country's best journalists for incisive analysis of the most consequential stories.
There's been a lot of soul-searching on the Democrat side about what went wrong.
Once these tariffs go in, the question becomes how long they will stick to this policy and what will be the breaking point.
A kitten in Ohio is recovering after being thrown from a moving vehicle. Someone rescued the injured kitten from the side of the road on Sunday. Chris Arnold has more on how the animal is doing.
She's vocalizing and she's up and moving, and she's taking her syringe feedings.
Peppermint Pig Animal Rescue Vice President Melissa Thomas introduced Local 12 News to Prissy.
You're a ham bone, aren't you?
She says the 4-week-old kitten came into the Care Center Cincinnati Sunday afternoon.
I work with the Critical Care Department, which is a division of the ER at Care Center Cincinnati. The cat came in as a stray that had been thrown from a moving car window.
She says Prissy was found by a passerby on the side of the road.
It hurts your heart, it hurts your soul, to just think that someone could do something like that.
Thomas says Prissy had a slew of injuries.
She's got an abrasion on her chin right there. Yeah, I think that's probably where she hit, and then she had blood coming from both of her nostrils yesterday.
Since arriving on Sunday, Prissy has been receiving plenty of treatment and spent time in an incubator.
We immediately placed an IV catheter. We gave her drugs to help with that swelling in her brain and for pain management. We've had her on IV fluids to supplement.
Every little bit helping this little furry friend along the road to recovery.
While most 10-year-olds are in elementary school eagerly awaiting recess, a California 10-year-old is preparing to graduate from college. Alyssa Pearls learned to read when she was just 2 years old and was doing algebra at 5. She began taking classes at Crafton Hills College when she was just 8 years old. Pearls says that learning was just fun for her.
It's like very fun to me. It's like almost like as fun as playing outside or riding a bike or doing whatever. I just enjoy learning. There's so many interesting things out there.
And don't think she's stopping there. She's currently waiting to hear if she's been accepted into the prestigious Stanford University.
That is insane.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. Really, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, they just get younger and younger. I feel like the generations as they go on, they just get smarter.
They're just getting smarter.
Age.
I feel like I'm behind already.
I'll be a grandma when I'm 30, basically.
Yeah, and they'll be astrophysicists.
I got to tell you about the weather for these next few days. We're seeing on our Wednesday, tomorrow, 80 degrees for our high. We do have a slight chance of rain for our Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Friday, we do have a slight chance of some thunderstorms out there. Saturday, going back into those low 70s, but we'll be in those 80s for these next few days. And then Saturday, that rain going away in the evening. And then this time next week, there is a slight chance for some more rain. But again, we'll be in those 80s all throughout. So it will be a warm one here in Athens.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching. For all of us here at Newswatch, I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.